Welcome back to another episode of Saturday Afternoon Gaming. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we're hopping into an accolade classic, the Games: Winter Challenge. This is a Winter Olympics style game, and with the Winter Olympics having officially started yesterday, I thought we should man up and play a little Winter Olympics, because why not? Interesting bit of tidbit trivia here. This game is not endorsed by the International Olympic Committee nor the U.S. Olympic Committee, meaning this is a completely unofficial... Oh, look, Jeff is on the bobsled, winding and bobbing his way around. So this game is not officially endorsed by the Olympic Committee in any way. This is kind of like the unofficial Olympics, like the boycott Olympics or something like that. It's considered to be a pretty good game that stands up even today, so you can get a preview of some of the events we'll be checking out. Now, if you checked out Winter Games with me over the Christmas break, there's one of the games I played on my channel here. This is all going to look quite familiar to you, although the graphics and stuff look a bit more upgraded. This game, again, was not made by Epix, who made Winter Games, but it was made by Accolade. So let's go ahead and hop in and see what Accolade produced for us, because I'm excited to give this a shot. We had a decent time with Winter Games. Excited to try this. And by the way, I will just say that next Saturday, I'm also going to be playing a winter sports game. I'm going to be playing the Games: Winter Edition, which, if that is confusing to you, it should be. That is a game by Epix, who made Winter Games. So we have Winter Games, the Games: Winter Challenge, which we're playing now, and the Games: Winter Edition, which we will see next Saturday. Like, they could not come up with less confusing names. It's just crazy. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and check the setup here real quick. So you got your video mode options. So you can go to 16 color if you want. We're going to keep it a nice old VGA mode because it looks pretty sweet here. If your PC is not very fast, you may find the games more playable by rendering the level. Okay, so we don't need to do that these days. There are joystick controls in this game. I'm going to play on keyboard just because back in the day when I used to play DOS games, I always played them with the keyboard anyway. It kind of strikes me that back in the day, it was really hard to get joysticks working in DOS, and so most of the time you would just play things with keyboard. But I know this game is renowned for holding up even today and having joystick support. So if your interest gets piqued with this game today, I suggest maybe going and giving it a shot with the joystick. Now, if we go into a tournament mode, by the way, I learned this lesson back when I played Winter Games on my channel over Christmas. If we go into tournament mode, we might have to watch the computer compete in all these events, and we don't actually want to sit around watching the computer play. So, in fact, actually, let's get out of this. Let's just go into training mode and try each of these events once and get a feel for it. And actually, I will be checking out this game on DOS and the Sega Genesis. So maybe about halfway through, we'll switch over to the Sega Genesis just to see if it looks any different. So let's go ahead and start with, how about we start with skiing? That's a nice traditional event. Downhill skiing. While mankind has used skis for several thousand years. Wow, they're that old? The modern sport of downhill skiing was developed in Austria at the turn of the century. Wow. I just got educated. I didn't even know that. All right, so here are with downhill skiing. I have no idea what the controls are. I assume the arrows do stuff. And okay, one of these buttons has got to do something. I'm just gonna try all the buttons until something happens. Okay, so I'm just holding forward, and he seems to like duck down. When I stop holding forward, I guess nothing happens. But if you hold backwards, he kind of like goes, ooh, to like pause. Oh, there's actual sound effects here? I had no idea. I imagine that you might be able to like try and, I missed a gate? What the heck? Now, I have tried to look up controls for this, and I cannot find anything online that describes the buttons. I've also tried pressing all the buttons, and I can't quite figure out if there are any other buttons. So I don't know. I'm holding forward, hoping that does something. It may not. I know if you do hold back, you kind of do this like ooh pose, which I imagine slows you down. So I'm just going to continue to hold forward. I mean, when you're skiing downhill anyway, all you do is kind of like stick your butt out and duck your knees down and like hope you're going faster and faster. I mean, I'm going like 83 kilometers an hour. The sound effects here are very sparse, actually. It's like there's no sound of like wind rushing past you or anything. I will say, like, I'm kind of surprised. Oof. Oh, maybe I have to press something different there. I mean, the graphics look amazing, but I thought there'd be some kind of like, audio cues to this stuff, as opposed to kind of like, wee, nothing. I mean, the music on the menu before you get to this point is like pretty awesome, actually, and the graphics look awesome. Like I'm loving this like 1990s DOS VGA style of graphic here. So yeah, I feel like maybe when we go to the Sega Genesis, I'll quickly try this one, because the Sega Genesis has 3 very obvious buttons, 4 if you count the start button, which usually is not a button to do anything. But I will kind of like, I am curious to like give this a shot to see, like, could there be buttons that I could be pressing that would do anything? Or is it literally just left, right, and backwards? I mean, we played winter games for, over the break, over the Christmas break there. Winter games was on the Commodore 64, and it was a very basic game with very few buttons. So it is possible that there just really are no buttons to speak of. Whoa! Oh no! Get away from the trees! Oh! Alright, we wiped out. Oh! People were... Okay. So there are some sound effects. When you fail, you get sound effects. Okay, so that was downhill skiing. We did, I would say, okay for our very first shot. So let's stick with like the downhill events for a second here. Wait, look, there's another one over here. There's all these ski events. Okay, let's mix it. So we'll try bobsledding, cross-country skiing. No, wait. The luge. All right, that's the luge. This is the bobsled. This is the cross-country ski. And then we'll try the others on Sega Genesis. So how about the luge? The first luging competition was held in Switzerland in 1883. The single rider adopts a reclining position on a sled and can attain speeds of 70 miles per hour. The luge, of course, famously was, made fun of by Jerry Seinfeld in his awesome stand-up comedy routine, where he basically says the bobsled or the luge is the one event where it's like people can do it involuntarily. You can strap someone to a luge and they could do better potentially than someone who trained for this their whole life, right? I mean, it's just a dude on a sled careening out of control. Oh God, he's like grinding into the snow. Oh my God. I probably shaved his face off there. Let's give that one another shot. So, am I watching the computer play now? Or am I still playing? I can't tell. No, wait, this is me, I think. I believe I'm still in control. Okay. So, I'm not quite sure what the luge strategy is here for how do luge people even direct themselves left and right? I don't quite know. This game has some sort of faux 3D stuff going on here, basically because, this is like a far more detailed luge course than we would ever get in like winter games, back when we played winter games, but I feel like I'm doing okay here. I'm surprised. Luging has got to be like the most like trippy sport ever. It's kind of like extreme tobogganing. Like, you guys remember tobogganing when you were a kid? Like, you'd pull out your sled and you and your brother, your cousin, your friend or something would like go down to this hill, and you guys would just try and go down like the most steepest hill together and like bail at the last second and stuff. It's like when you become an adult, if you're still not over that, you're like, you know what I'm going to do? The luge, which is basically like just hardcore tobogganing. If it's the closest thing the Olympic Committee has to like Olympic-style tobogganing. Speaking of the Olympics, so as I said, the Winter Olympics are being held right now. They're actually being held in South Korea, which is a country... Oh, we wiped out again. All right, I guess the luge... I guess we're losers at the luge. So we'll go ahead and give another event a shot here. Let's go ahead with... Let's break it up with some cross-country skiing. Cross-country skiing is an endurance sport requiring great strength in the legs and stamina. Great strength in my stamina. All right. I guess, can we figure out a button here? We can go left or right, or we can duck. There's got to be a button here. Okay, hold on. Enter! enter seems to do stuff. If I press enter, he like sort of pokes his way along the course. All right, we are cross-country skiing. I figured it out. Enter is a button. Anyway, South Korea is a country near and dear to my own heart because they are the home of the esports. In North Korea, they obsessed with StarCraft, Warcraft, all the crafts, Hearthstone, League of Legends, Dota 2. And being a gamer, obviously, I fully support their addiction to... Oh, he's doing like a little dance here. Look at this. Little fancy dance. He's getting jiggy with it. I do also like how there's like the what do you call it? Like the ski lift there, just like carrying people around. It's pretty cool. All right. So yes, South Korea, home of the esport. I love esports, obviously, being a gamer. I mean, like, you know, I make these YouTube videos. I make them because I like watching YouTube videos about games. So it's like in my spare time, I legit will watch like Hearthstone tournaments and stuff like that. I find esports is very interesting to watch. I know there's like controversy about like whether esports are really sports, and like occasionally when they show them on ESPN, you know, some hardcore sports fans get upset and stuff. But like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, I legitimately don't think of esports as sports in the physical sense. Like, esports are not physical. Yes, you need, like, very quick fingers, and you do have to use a lot of intelligence and quick thinking, not denying that. But it's not a physical sport in the same way that, you know, running around on, like, a football field or, like, you know, skating around in hockey is an actual sport. So I do completely agree that esports are not traditional sports, but where they are very sport-like is through the competitiveness of it. You know, like a competitive game of League of Legends, I mean, to me, is far more interesting than a competitive game of football or hockey or soccer. Not because there isn't strategy in those you know, real sports, but it's just that like it seems like there's so much more in like a game like League of Legends because the games are so much more complex. You know, sports are very interesting. They're very physically demanding, but they've been around for so long, and they haven't really adapted. Like, how could they? I mean, they have to be played in the physical reality, but video games aren't bound by the rules of reality, so they can become far more complicated. And so, like, a game of StarCraft is like it's like a game of chess on speed. You know, like, it's more complicated. It's one of the most complicated games humans have ever created. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's more complicated games in StarCraft, but you guys know what I mean. Like, compared to, like, traditional, in quotes, sports or traditional board games, it's insanely complicated. So it is, I think esports have the competitive angle. They have the like strategy and tactics and intellectual angle that you sometimes see in sports, which most people don't think of. They think of that as more belonging to like board games and stuff. But there's a lot of strategy in games, like even like soccer and stuff, right? So I appreciate that. But you know, I one thing I can't deny is that yes, esports aren't really physical. I mean, yeah, you do have to train your fingers and stuff like that, but they're definitely not physical in the same way of running around for like 3 hours on a basketball court is. So, like, ultimately, should they be called sports? I don't know. I don't mind calling them sports because if you define sports with the competitiveness, then I guess they are. But if you define it on the physicality, then I guess they're not. But one thing's for sure, you know, watching them, like, you know, I've never been a sports guy, never quite understood why people watch sports, but then I caught myself really getting into watching people do Let's Plays or, you know, esports and tournaments and stuff. And I gotta admit, I get it. You know, like, I'm never going to be the guy who watches basketball or football, but, like, I get what people who do watch it like about it. And so, yeah, like, who am I to judge? A sport's a sport, and people can enjoy it as long as it's interesting to watch, I think. Oops, we totally skipped the end screen there. As long as there's, like, an interesting competitive angle to watch, then I think it deserves to be considered a viewing sport. In terms of, like, an athletic sport that's going to get your body into shape, I don't think anyone would ever say video games counts as that kind of sport. Anyway, we've just watched some cross-country skiing with my guy in blue. Now I'm doing the guy in red. I have a feeling it's going to be much of the same. So yeah, you're just kind of hitting enter. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. Maybe there's more buttons that I could be pressing, but I had a hard enough time finding this button. So yeah, I mean, that was cross-country skiing. Graphics look cool. Very interesting, but and I don't know what's happening when he's doing this. Is it because he's going uphill? It looks like he's doing a funky old jig from the turn of the century. But okay, let's go ahead and select a new event. So we've done, man, we're just blowing through these events. All right, let's go ahead and do some bob, or actually, you know what? Bobsledding. We did 2 downhill events already on the PC. Let's save one of those. Let's save 2 more. So we have this skiing and this one. I expect this is a ski jump, although this looks like a ski jump. So I don't know what that, like, what's the difference between this and this? I don't even know. But what do we want to do here? Let's do this one, the throwing one, and then we'll save the other 4 for the Sega Genesis. Okay. This is speed skating. Speed skating has long... I was like, the throwing one. It's speed skating. Has long been a popular pastime in the Netherlands. The sport requires skill, strength, and muscular coordination. Don't all skills require speed, or all sports require speed, strength, and muscular coordination? Or is that just being preposterous? I don't know. Hopefully enter is the only button we need here. Otherwise, we're going to have to go searching for the next one. Oh! I always find it, like, funny. Yeah, enter is the button. I always find it funny how, like, in sports, there's like a starting pistol. Like, where did that tradition emerge? It's like, all right, we need some way to tell them all to start. Somebody's like, how about we just yell start? And somebody else is like, I don't know about that. And the third person's like, I brought a gun. And it's like, before anyone was like, why did you bring a gun to speed skating? They were like, done. They're like, is it loaded? Because if so, we have a way to tell the athletes to start. Let's try that one again, as we failed. Maybe a starting gun was like, we can do false starts. Cool. Maybe a starting pistol is like super motivating to the athletes, because like back in the day, it's like you'd be getting ready to race, and all of a sudden you hear a gunshot behind you, and you're like, yo, get the hell out of here! They're shooting everybody up in here, and you just start skating like crazy, like mad. You know, like, I don't know what goes down in the Netherlands, but I gotta believe it's sort of like a gangster's paradise, and, you know, there's just crime. The streets are riddled with crime. You know, you hear a gunshot, you just start skating home for your life. You know, this pastime, it looks very peaceful, but it was born out of young Netherlandians having to, like, skate for their lives, rushing away from all the crime that surrounds their city, trying desperately to get to their safe little huts where they live, because in the Netherlands, I presume people live in huts because the climate affords only that kind of lifestyle. You know, all very logical considerations. So I guess this is just a button masher where you kind of have to tap as fast as you can, which kind of reminds me of International Track and Field, the arcade game we tried back in the day. Like, I don't know if I'm doing good in time or what, but so far, I went right through the wall. I was going so fast. I was about to say that it wasn't too hard to control. The controls feel very, like, kind of easy to pick up and stuff. But, I mean, I guess when I just totally bomb an event, maybe I'm not doing as well as I thought. All right, we've tried 4 events on DOS. I love, by the way, that we squeezed in an old VGA DOS game because, you know, this is what I did when I was a kid. I played DOS games all the time. All the time I played DOS games. Okay, so we got 4 more events to check out. Let's just see what the names are. This one is totally the bobsled. All right, this one is the slalom. This one is the biathlon. The biathlon is the best because you get to skate and shoot a gun. And we got the ski jump. We're going to try all of these on the Sega Genesis, so let's hop over to that. So I believe the Sega Genesis version here is very similar to the DOS version, if it is different at all. So the title screen looks the exact same. We have bobsleds bobbing. We have skaters skating. Or not skaters, skiers skiing. And I believe a little bunny rabbit hops out at the end. This is actually a cool title screen, how like the snow dust ends up. Yeah, there's our little bunny. Ends up revealing all the credits. Oh, by the way, developed in Vancouver, BC. Yes, it was. All right, so everything looks pretty similar to how it did in the PC. In terms of options, fewer options, but that's just because the graphics and the joystick and stuff are by default set up by Sega Genesis. So we did our 4 events last time. The graphics, by the way, do look a little downgraded compared to the PC, which is too bad. But let's go ahead and start with the bobsled. This fast-paced sport originated in Switzerland. The combined weight of 2 bobsleds, of the bobsled and its 2 passengers propel it down the mile-long course at speeds reaching 80 miles per hour. I thought there was like 4 bobsledders in a bobsled team. Like, the only exposure I have to bobsledding is the movie Cool Runnings with John Candy about the first Jamaican bobsled team. I'm pretty sure there's like 4 of them. There was not 2 of them, but whatever. Oh yeah, the frame rate is not nearly as good as it was on the PC. Oh man, This game looks a lot rougher on the Sega Genesis. It's like the Genesis couldn't handle the like 3D graphics here. Like the draw distance is significantly reduced. The frame rate is way lower. I actually don't mind when games are a little chunkier because it sometimes makes them easier to control. I think I said this way back when I played Virtual Fighter. Oh, we tipped the bobsled. We killed our bobsledders. But let's give that one more shot. But back in the day, I had a Virtual Fighter on a computer that could not handle Virtual Fighter, and as a result, the entire game ran really slow. But actually, I was able to like dominate that game because I could make moves so fast the enemy couldn't counter it, and I could counter every single one of their moves eventually. So it's pretty funny, like when games do get really slow, it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but sometimes it can be like an unfair advantage. But when it's like really choppy like this, I mean, this game does seem far less good on the Sega Genesis than DOS. Maybe we should go back to DOS for like the last 2 events. Maybe we'll just try 1 or 2 events on the Genesis here. I thought we'd play the last 4, but now that I see it, oh, we just killed 2 more bobsledders. Yeah, I don't think we should stick with this for all the events. Okay, so let's, oh wait, no, we don't want to do this again. We don't want to kill 2 more people. I can't have their deaths on my conscience. How do we get out of here, though? Oh, no, start only pauses. How do you quit? Up and pause, down and pause? Okay, let's just wipe these people out right away. Oh, I'm holding to the right, and it's not doing anything. Okay, let's just wipe them out. Kill them. I can't kill them when I want to. Here we go. How's that not killing them? I'm, like, doing better than I ever did before. Okay, how do you kill people in this game? Ah, there we go. All right, now we're going to go to event selection. Oh, man. All right. Well, we saw bobsledding. As you can imagine, it's some dudes hanging onto a sled for dear life as they careen at high speeds down the, to their death. Let's try the jumping, because I do kind of feel like I still haven't figured out all the buttons on the computer version. I only know enter. So there's only 3 buttons to test, so I'll be able to figure this out on the Genesis for sure. So ski jump. The goal in the ski jump is to make a powerful leap from the end of the ramp and minimize wind resistance before landing. Let's do it, Chief. Put me in, I'm ready. We're gonna go ahead and train. Here we go. I'm not pressing anything. What's the jump button, I wonder? Is there one? I didn't find a jump button. Oh, he's flailing. Oh, he's panicking. Oh, his skis fell off. Oh, no. Oh, damn. If you guys remember back when I played Ski or Die, most of my guys who skied died because when they went down that giant jump, I didn't know what buttons to press. All right, let's try and figure this out. I like how he's like it looks like he's spreading his butt cheeks apart, like the way he's got his hands. Not to be crass or anything, but okay, here we go. Land it! Oh, he landed! Okay, I guess there are no buttons. It's just kind of like up and down. I strongly thought this game would have more buttons. There's something about these like winter games that like they're really opposed to having more than like 1 or 0 buttons. Like if you remember back when we played winter games, one of my complaints with that game is that although the events were like pretty interesting, it felt, oh, that guy ate it hard. It felt like some of the events really needed more than 1 button to operate well. Like there was really wonky controls where it's like, press a button with no direction pad to do this. If you're holding a direction pad and you press the button 2 seconds before pressing the left key, then your guy will do this. It's like very obscure, complicated controls. Here's the pink Power Ranger, by the way. It's her turn to ski. So I figured with the Sega Genesis, oh, damn, I should have paid more attention. Is she going to go over the ramp? Oh! Yeah, she got it the worst. Okay, one more because I find this awesome. Right, here's the Green Ranger. Wasn't he the leader for a while? He was like originally evil or something. I never really watched Power Rangers as a kid. My brother did, to be totally honest. But oh, he ate it too. Do we have the White Ranger next, or is that it? It's a good thing we're practicing because we would not be earning any points. So it's back. Okay, we'll give the Pink Ranger one more shot here. See if she can do it. How did I land that one guy? I don't even know. Like when you press forward and back, you can definitely do stuff to their skis, but yeah. I'm just totally guessing here. All right, well, we have seen Winter Challenge on the Sega Genesis, on the Sega Mega Drive if you're from Europe. Let's just bob back over to the DOS version and finish off the last 2 events, I think. All right, so we got 2 final events. Let's save the best for last. The biathlon, where we get to fire a gun, will be last. So let's just go ahead and go to the slalom. The giant slalom combines elements of 2 types of skiing, the downhill and the slalom. Okay, well, the slalom's in the name, so I assumed there would be slaloming, and it wouldn't just be nothing. So enter, enter doesn't do anything. All right. So I guess all we can do is turn and press forward. All right, so this looks a lot like the other downhill skiing that we saw. It is nicer, though, to get back to the, like, higher frame rate of the PC. And, like, there's richer colors here than the Genesis was able to produce. So the PC does what the Genesis don't. Just to paraphrase an old Sega ad. So we just have to, like, bob and weave past all these things. Not too bad, actually. I feel like I don't know how to make better time. Like, I don't know what the strategy is for the slalom, like, to hold... Oh my god, it's just... Oh! Almost hit that one. Oh, get in there! Alright, so this is slaloming. So as far as the Winter Olympics go, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Are you the kind of people who like watching the Olympics? Or is it one of those things where it's like, you're just not super interested when it comes about? As I've already sort of alluded to, not being a sports guy, I'm not super into watching the Olympics. Although, like, weirdly, I weirdly have this like, weird affinity for them. Weirdly, where I just kind of like that they exist. Like, I kind of like that the Olympics are out there, and that, like, every time you go over to somebody's house when it's, like, Olympics time, like, everybody's watching the Olympics, and, you know, like, they're kind of not paying attention. It's kind of there in the background. It's sort of like this big shared event that, like, everyone in the world just kind of tunes in for, and everyone's kind of paying attention to the Olympics. It's kind of cool that exists, to be totally honest. I like the camaraderie between countries that occurs during the Olympics. I mean, like, one show that I did kind of recently get into, oddly enough, is a show on Netflix called Beastmaster, which is basically kind of like, if you guys have watched American Ninja Warrior, it's kind of like that, where there's a bunch of contestants who compete on this, like, crazy course they call the Beast, hence the term Beastmasters, nothing to do with the old Beastmaster movie. Hey, we actually completed an event without screwing it over. Yeah! Damn! Alright, what do we get? We got, just under 2 minutes. Sweet. What is our prize? Do we get gold for that? Or just, you know, the admiration of people? I don't know. I don't know what would be a good reward for doing good in a sport? Money, I guess. So how much money did we get? I only do this for the money, basically. My guy, my sports guy that you've been watching compete in all these events, he's a capitalist, is what he is. He's in it for the money. All right, biathlon. The biathlon is a combination of cross-country skiing and target shooting. Sport has evolved from 2 of the first uses of skis, travel and warfare. Oh, you know what? I have played biathlon events my entire life in video games, and I never knew that. How interesting. They're like, by God, you know what would be fascinating? To have an event that combined the leisure of skiing with the brutality of warfare. Let us create an event called the Biathlon, and so it was. So yeah, I kind of like that the Olympics are a thing that everybody watches. I like how I'm skiing with, like, literally a rifle strapped to my back. I don't know exactly how I'm going to fire this gun, but hopefully we can figure out the controls, because... no winter game is complete without the ability to fire a rifle. Let me just say that much. But yeah, are you guys excited for the Olympics? Are you going to watch it, or is it just something that you kind of pay attention in the background? Oh, I was talking about Beastmaster. Basically, Beastmaster is crazy. It's like, American Ninja Warrior. It's kind of like American Gladiators. But the thing about it is that there are international teams competing. So there's like Italy, Spain, China, America. And it's really neat to see the camaraderie between... Oh, it's just enter. Okay. Look at this aim. He's all over the place. Can you just, like... Boom, you suck, dude. The camaraderie between the announcers and the teams. Like, there are different teams competing and stuff, but they are also, like, very supportive of one another. Like the people in American Ninja Warrior are. Wow. Got a bullseye there. That's awesome. I like... This is an event, man. So there's only one button in this game. It's enter. It's all you need. Enter in the arrow keys. So there you go. Go figure. But anyway, Beastmaster, it's kind of a cool show, and I like the camaraderie between the different international peoples. It feels very like Star Trek-y, Or like if anyone's familiar with the BattleTech universe, it feels very BattleTech-y because in BattleTech it's a big mishmash of cultures in the future. It's very interesting to see. So it feels like you're watching a bunch of competitors from the inner sphere compete in different events. And most of you probably don't know what BattleTech is, so I'm going to stop the metaphor right there. But let's go ahead and fire some more guns. Ooh, this one he's lying on his belly. This is a harder one. Get in there. Boom! Ah, just nicked it. This is actually really hard. It reminds me of like Metal Gear, damn, Solid, where it's like the crosshair would not fully cooperate with you, and like you have to take the diazepam to like calm yourself down. Oh, come on, I had that. Oh man, I mean it's far more jittery. I mean this is what firing a gun is really like. There's like the jitteriness of it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool as a simulation. It's annoying as a video game, but it's cool as a simulation. I feel like most video games, your crosshair is much more stable than that. So I guess with this game, you really have to get comfortable with lining the shots up properly. Let's carry on this biathlon. We're starting to wrap up our thoughts here on this game. So yeah, I decided to play this game because it's Olympic time, and what better way to get into the Olympic season? I will be playing the Games: Winter Edition, which is a totally different game by a totally different company, next Saturday, just to sort of carry on the winter sport motif here. But what do you guys think of Winter Challenge here, especially compared to something like Winter Games? Do you guys think it holds up? Does it seem interesting to you? Are you less interested in it? What do you guys think? I think the graphics are improved from the old Epix games, but there's also something very classic about those like Epix games. Boom, there we go. That's a bullseye. So yeah, I have mixed feelings. I will say though that it does feel like a pretty easy game to hop into, but then on the flip side, it is like very, very simple. So like, I don't know how much appeal this game would really have for like modern gamers. It might just be a little too simple. Might be like the kind of game you play on your phone these days, not the kind of game you'd like sit down to play for an afternoon on your PC. But hey, those are just my thoughts. If you have fond memories of this game, I would love to hear your thoughts about this game, what you do like about it, what you liked in the past about it, what you still like about it. Love to hear that kind of stuff. And what do you guys think of the Olympics? Are you guys looking forward to it? Are you watching it right now? Maybe it's on in the background while this video's going. Are you obsessed with the Olympics, or are you not really into sports? Maybe like me. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this whole Olympic shindig? Let me know also in the comments. I love hearing from you guys about all kinds of things, both related to the game we're playing and just the conversations we have while we play. This is my last shot to get 4 bullseyes. So we're going to start with the bullseye right now. Boom. That almost counted. Okay, here's the first real bullseye though. Oh, damn it. Did you see that? It was right in the center until I pulled the trigger and then it flew out. Okay, there's a bullseye for you. Here we go. But, oh, are you kidding me? What the hell? It flies right out the second I pull the trigger. Maybe my guy has like a pull whenever he pulls the trigger, the gun pulls. Man, this game just makes me realize like how impressive it is. Like real snipers from World War II and stuff who could actually snipe people, and like more modern snipers. Like that's an insane skill to be able to actually snipe things. Like you have to have like the steadiest hands I have ever seen. I'd be a terrible sniper. Not that my hands are particularly shaky, but like they're normal. They're the normal amount of shaky. I mean, hold your hand out right now and try not to shake it. It's going to shake a little bit. Everyone's hand's a little shaky, so like snipers must be like carved out of marble or something like that. Anyway, we're rounding the corner to the finish line here. It's been fun checking this game out with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekends. I hope you have fun watching the Olympics, whether you really care about them or not. And until next time out, guys, you stay warm, you drink lots of cocoa, and you enjoy those sweet, sweet South Korean Olympics. All right, guys. Peace.